Well, and now I mean, it's a different world. People always ask me, and like, the Comedy Store is the greatest place in the world. So, like, I always ask, like, what was your first, like, because you went through the Tommy process, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
like,
I was there during Tommy years.
or like, what's your favorite Comedy Store night that you've ever had there? Well, and like, give me an early one, and then now obviously it's like the coolest place in the world, but.
Yeah. So I went around the dark ages. So I was living in Long Beach, and then I never really hung out around the Comedy Store, but then just doing mics around town and stuff, I met Chris D'Elia, and we're both kind of just nobodies, but we became friends. And around that time, I think he got passed at the Comedy Store, and he'd be like, "Yo, come hang out at the Comedy Store." So because I had a friend like at the Comedy Store, it gave me an excuse to hang out at that place. Whereas before, there was no reason for me to go there really. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'll see my friend. I'll hang out. So I would go there, and then by hanging, like you always need a regular to vouch for you, or it makes things a little easier if you go, this guy's funny, and you kind of insist them a little bit, or at least they have their eye on you to go through the process instead of being a complete random,
Yeah, for sure.
So Chris would always tell Tommy, be like, "Yo, this guy's really funny. Like you should take a look at him." And then I started coming to the open mic. They would have me come to the open mic, and he would play these games and stuff. You'd have to stick around forever. I would go up at 1:30. Like he would tell you, it was like the Mental Marines or something. Just the way they would mind fuck you. They would say you're up next, and then it ends up being an hour or two later that you go up. Or sometimes you wouldn't even go up after you were told you were going up in 3 or something, because the list kept on changing as it moved from hand to hand. So it was annoying. And then one time, I think it happened I had work the next day and I wasn't going up, and I told Tommy, I go, "Look, I respect the system and I'm willing to play ball, but like I have a day job. I work at Boeing. I can't come here if I'm not going to go up.
Yeah.
Like I'm willing to do what I need to do, but I have to at least know I'm going to go up." And then there was less dicking around for me, at least after that. They were still waiting around and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But finally I got passed. And then when you get passed, there's all these, you reach all these milestones at the Comedy Store. You reach the top, and then you start at the bottom again for this new phase. So even though I got passed, now I'm going up super late at the Comedy Store as a paid regular. So I'm going up at like 1 a.m. or 1:15, and so it's a very different vibe. But as a younger comic, it's actually beneficial. I think it's good. I think some people could take it one of two ways. They could be like, "Why the fuck am I performing? It doesn't matter. Nothing matters." And if you have that attitude, it's not good. I think it's toxic, and comedy is supposed to be about fun and levity and laughter. And if you go into it with that "why are we here" attitude, those people are in those chairs like they want to be there. It may not be ideal, or it's not a packed crowd, but like they still want to be there. So it just kind of taught you to have a good attitude, and also it taught you not to be afraid of small numbers, but people are people, and that there are no stakes. Because you would perform at 1:30 a.m. and you're like, "Oh, nothing matters." You know what I mean? Like there's no need to be nervous. There's nothing to be nervous about. These are it's almost comical. It's nihilistically funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So it was great for that, just because some people can be great joke writers, but if they're balled up with stress or fear and performing, it's hard to hear the brilliance of those jokes if the performer doesn't look comfortable, or if they're not in the moment of what's really happening in the room. And late night OR really teaches you to acknowledge the room that you're currently in and what's happening. You can't be on autopilot.
Yeah. It was wild.
You can't look at the ceiling and just deliver some jokes to 5 people. It's weird. You can do that with a packed room of 200 people, and some people will still think that it's like decent stand-up comedy. Just when it's stripped away, when you take the people away, you have to be more real. So it's good to teach you that lesson. But I think Tommy had me doing that for way too long. So like I got the lesson after a while, but he kept me there for a while. And then finally I was able to break out of it, and it was good. And then Adam took over, and then it's been great.
Yeah, now it's...
And yeah, like everyone's come back, you know, Rogan's come back, and, you know, I'll talk to him in the green room. That's just kind of cool too. You just know guys as comedians and stuff, and then you forget like what a big impact Rogan has beyond being a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
We're just fortunate that this figure happens to be into stand-up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And now he's the king. Well, you know, that's an interesting question. Like, when you knew you were going to do Rogan, were you nervous about that, or did you feel comfortable about him? Or, I mean, in this day and age, doing Rogan is like the biggest thing you can do, I think.
I think so too. Like, I've done 3 late nights, and Rogan is still bigger than those 3 that I've done.
Yeah.
It's just a testament to the times. Yeah, I was on a plane, and then I got a text from Rogan. He's like, "Yeah, do you want to do the pod?"
Oh,
I'm like, "Of course!" Like, who the fuck would say no? Yeah. Also, I remember the day we're supposed to do it. He's like, "Hey, I'm running behind, 30 behind. Is that okay?" And I wanted to be like, "Who would say no?" You know?
That's awesome.
No, Joe Rogan, it's not okay. Fahim Anwar is out.
Yeah. So you're just on a plane and you just get a text and you're like, "Oh shit!" Like,
yeah, I was coming back. I was doing some shows in Europe. Like, I had a little European tour thing going on, so I was in the sky, and then I got a text. He was like, "Yo, do you want to come do the podcast?" And I actually had to delay it a day because I was getting in, but it still worked out, luckily.
Yeah.
But luckily, we had chatted at the store and stuff, so there was already a rapport, and we already knew each other. It wasn't like I was going into it cold. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Because awesome. I think that would have been a little more nerve-wracking, like not knowing Joe.
Yeah, I can't imagine that. Well, yeah. the few times I've got to talk to him, it's just like he's just a comic. Like,
he's just a cool, and he's a very inclusive guy too. He'll go out of his way to say hello, and because I'm the type too where I'm always worried about, or I don't want to bother someone, or I want to give someone their space and all that. But especially early on, not knowing him. He would kind of go out of his way to say what's up, and it may seem like nothing, but that's a big thing to do, I think.